Hey, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. This is another one of the scrap busting Pinterest inspired videos. The video or the inspiration that I have from today are these long clusters. Now these are digitals. They were made by Kaylee Wiles. And I thought, if you can see those, I really like the long strips. So I thought maybe we could try to make some of those together. Even though these are digitals, we're just gonna try it on paper. So I was thinking about the paper that I could use for this. And you can use tons of stuff. I mean, I've got all kinds of scrapbook paper because I am a scrapbooker also. Depending on what the theme of your project is, you can choose scrapbook paper that's kind of coincide with it. This one is a pretty green. It's just got a little bit of a design to it. This looks like corrugated cardboard. The next one is pretty neutral, pretty simple background. This one is a little bit grungier, I guess, and darker. It's got a lot more colors in it, but if that's what you're needing ephemera for, that would work. This one is I guess Victorian type of paper, but this would work for a good background on your snippets or whatever you want to call these things. Long clusters, that's what we're going to call them. This one has a wood grain and old flowers. That would look good. You can also use any of your collage papers that you've made. I've seen tons of people making clusters with their collage paper. This is one. This is a paper I actually just started playing with. And it's got all kinds of stuff. It's got alcohol inks. It's got tissue paper. I ended up making, I'll show you these real quick. These are some of the Tim Holtz leaf dies. And I made leaves out of this. And they turned out really neat. I like them. So you can use this kind of paper if that's what you're needing. You can use, that paper that we always stick underneath our projects and we stamp on it, or we, paint on it or whatever. You can use that. The back side of it's just as cool. Today, this is the paper that I'm going to be using. It's pretty neutral, which is what I want. It does have a little bit of blue. It's got a little pink in it. I think this will make a good background. And what I have out on my table are scraps. And these are my actual scrap buckets that I use when I make paper clusters. I have 3 of them here. This one has got a lot of I guess medium-sized scraps. It's got some offcuts. It's got just a little bit of everything in there that I can use. This one has the smaller scraps in it. It's got a lot of colorful ones that I think is going to work good with this paper that I've chosen for today. And then this one is book pages. There's a few Tim Holtz pages in here. There's like doilies, there's a few, just odds and ends in this one, really. So we're going to be pulling out of those 3, and I have my fabric and ribbon bits box. This is just a mishmash of different fibers and fabrics and yarns and whatever. I found this sparkly sweater at a Goodwill store. And I think it's so pretty, so I may use a little bit of that today too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the inspiration up here. Let's see, get this in this corner. Maybe I should take that down, because if I don't, I'm going to move it. But that's kind of my inspiration. and it's what I'm gonna try to kind of go off of today. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start, and I'm not inking anything at all. I just, if I want to ink it afterwards, I can, but I just don't feel like messing with it today. I've got a bunch of offcuts from, you know, the end strips on those 12 by 12 scrapbook papers, and I know a lot of people use that stuff. But I think I'm going to start with this one. Pull off the Webster's Pages logo, and I'm going to stick probably everything down with the glitter glue, and I hope it doesn't stop up on me. It's been kind of acting up. So I'm using long strips, and I'm just going to build on them. Some of them I may go back in later and sew around, or I may not. This is an offcut from some paper that I had painted, or alcohol inked, I think is what it was. It's kind of interesting looking, but it's got a lot of white on these edges. So I think I'll tear more of that off. Okay. That goes good with the orange and yellow and green that's on there. I'm going to move this over a little bit. Maybe you can see it better. What else can I find? Here's a, that's not the right color green though. Let's see. I've got this. That will look okay. I think I'm going to put it on this end. We're just going to run the glue down here. And run this along there. And tear it off. Whoops. Doesn't want to stay. So yeah, I live in a small town in Missouri, and we have a farm here. And we were blessed, I guess, to get some of that snow last week. It's been a little challenging. I mean, I tend to want to be a homebody anyway. So with the excuse of the snow that we got, I don't get out of my house too awful much. This one I may, yeah, what am I gonna do with it? I think I'll put it here. And there's no rhyme or reason for any of this. You just glue stuff down that looks good to you. I don't know if I like that. It's a plain yellow paper, but I think it'll work for on this other side. I probably should have tore that off. You know what? I'm sticking that over here because I want a rough edge on both sides of this. So I'm going to tear more of it off. Let's go ahead and tear the ends too. Why not? Put that on there. So this is a base. What I have here, this is the beginning of a long cluster. I'm not going to decorate these, not necessarily right now. I may decorate a few later and show you what I come up with. But I just want to get the foundation of the clusters down on here. I'm digging in my material scraps to see what I can come up with. Let's see. Oh, I've got this. I cut that off of an old sweater as well. That's kind of thick. Maybe just part of it? And maybe even cut it down the middle. I'm afraid it's just going to shred, but this will work. That'll give a little bit of texture to that. Do I like that though? You know what? I don't think I like it. Let's see what else we can come up with. Here's a little bit of green. That's not the right green. Here's a little brown. That doesn't look too bad. I'll have to put some fabric tack down for that one. So yeah, we did get a little bit of snow last week. Whoops, got goopy stuff. Last week I was supposed to work on Wednesday and Thursday, and I went in on Wednesday, and that's when the snow started here, and throughout the day it was just getting worse and worse, and finally the pharmacist sent us girls home, and he stayed there to finish out the day himself. So I only had to work part of that day. And then Thursday, again, I was supposed to work, but he did not think that we were going to have anybody coming in, so he told us to just stay home again. So I haven't hardly been out of my house at all, which is fine with me. Like I said, I'm kind of a homebody, so I don't mind being at home. Let's go this way with this one. I'm making these, not all of them are going to be long, but they're longish, because what I'm thinking, and I'll try this, I'll work with some of them, but I think they would be good like in on a pocket, or maybe on a side tuck, or we're just going to play with them a little bit. After we make them, we'll mess around and see what we can come up with, how we're going to use these. I've got some Braille paper here, and I said I wasn't going to ink, but this one just seems very stark white, so I am going to have to kind of calm it down. And I'm just going to calm it down right here on the paper. So yeah, we've still got some snow, not necessarily on the roads. Some of the, I guess the back roads are still a little snowy, maybe a little bit icy yet. But the temperatures have been rising, and so we're hoping that the snow will just eventually melt off pretty well. Let's see. Here's an offcut from a Tim Holtz. I like that. So there's no thinking really about these. I think that's the fun of making clusters, because you just kind of intuitively go with what you feel like is looking good in the moment. And this one, I want to say it's done, but it needs something. I wonder if that gold would look good there. No. Oh, I've got all kinds of stuff out here. Isn't that crazy? You can put so much on your desk and then not be able to find what you want because you don't know what it is until you see it. Let's see, here is a little bit of material. Oh, I kind of like that. We're going to try that. I'm going to put that up a little higher, and I'm going to leave the top half of this not glued down. I'm just going to leave this kind of dangling so that if I want to use this for, you know, a topper on a page or whatever, I could maybe leave that hanging out and put a dangle on it. So we'll do that. And I think we're going to call that one done. Sorry, this art glitter glue stops up so bad. Okay, the next one, I think I'm going to start with material. That's not going to cut or tear. Fray off some of the edges. Trying not to completely destroy it. Okay. Let's move over a little bit. This will be a long one, which I don't mind. There we go. I don't know if I'm gonna actually keep the sound on this thing, or if I'm going to do a voiceover. I'm not sure. I have trouble still with just randomly talking when there's nobody really here. I find that a little difficult to do. But I'm working on it. Let's see. Let's find some paper. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to use the fabric tack on it too because it's going to go down on top of the material. Let's put it here. So the fun part about putting these on these bigger sheets, the 12 by 12s, and you can use the 11 by or 8.5 by 14, whatever size that the legal size is. The best part about doing that, when you're finished, you don't necessarily have to even take them off of that paper, because you can have these stacked up. You know, you can stack up your 12 by 12s for sure, and just leave them in a corner, and whenever you need one of these little snippets or long clusters, then just pull your paper stacks out and tear off or cut out whatever piece that you're going to use for that particular project, and then stack the rest of them back up. That's the theory I'm working on. I'm thinking that that's the way it's going to work out. If any of you know a better way of storing something like this, please let me know. Ooh, I think I like that. That was just kind of peeking out of there. We're going to use that. Sorry, I'm not talking to you. I'm thinking about where I'm going to put this. I think there. There we go. So like I said, I'm going to work on these. And then after I get the bases done, I'll go back in and I will do some decorating on a few of them and come back and show you what that looks like. And I'm digging through here and I'm looking for paper that is similar to each other, but not exact. Those will go together. And I'm just pulling random things out. I like neutrals, especially for something like this, because it just feels like you can do so much with it. You know, if you need to add a little bit of pink, you can do that, or you can add green to it, or whatever. So I'm just going to pull out a bunch of these neutral papers and get a few more of these knocked out. Okay, let's see what we've got in this basket. I haven't even gotten into this one yet. Let's see. Oh, I've got all kinds of these. These are from the computer paper that I coffee dye, and they're just leftovers. They're the edges that I tear off. Those would be pretty cool here. What else have I got? I've got some of this. This is just the end part of a paper bag. But it's long enough that I could do something with that. Let's see. And I thought I had, here's a stencil that I had made on my Cricut. I could use part of that. Let's look at these book pages. I haven't used any book page yet either. And I've got enough of it to use some of this up. Just random bits of it. Okay, there we go. That's the stack I'm going to work out of. So let's push it all over. I told you I would have moved that. We'll just kind of stick everything off over to the side. Okay. Now, let's start with this one. I would use glue stick. And I've got that Uhu glue stick, but I'm not sure how well that's going to hold for the long term, you know. I don't have a lot of experience with it. So I'm not sure how it would do. I need this one to be a little taller. So the next thing I add will be taller. Let's see, I want it this tall. So let's do that. And then just tear it off. Add a little bit of green to it. And I'm trying not to line things up. You know, I'm trying to keep it kind of uneven, especially on the edges. let's use, oh, I had something else out here too. Where did it go? I have got these. I tore apart an old calendar, and I have these strips. And again, I'm going to have to ink those. Let's see. Because they're just too bright white. Whoops. Kind of tore it apart there. There, that's kind of a wider one here, which is okay. I mean, even if I had to, I could cut it in half if it was too wide. Okay, let's start this one with some material. Here's some green sari silk. And I would sew some of these, but my sewing machine is in the other room, and I figure if I don't use a whole lot of glue, then maybe I can sew some of them down later. Here's a little bit of doily that's been coffee dyed. We'll put that on there. Okay, and maybe use a little more of this on there. Make it a little taller. I still haven't used book page. Let's use a little bit of book page here. I have got so many scraps. I'm sure we all do. And I wanted something that I could use to just kind of get those a little bit in control here, because they're definitely out of control right now. Okay, this needs something very narrow. Maybe some more of this. Nah. What else have I got? Got some, nope. Got some of this. I didn't even remember I had that. I think that might work. And I'm just going to use my art glitter glue for that. I have no idea where this came from even. Okay, I'm going to let that dry a little bit before I mess any more with it. Okay, so we're getting quite a bit of these done. What kind of time do I have here? Okay, we're at 30 minutes. So what I'm going to do, and obviously I'm going to, when I edit, I'm going to cut down some of this stuff. But here's what I have so far. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 done. So I'm going to shut the camera down. I'm going to take these 5 and I'm going to put a few more embellishments on them just to show you what you can do after you've finished your bases. And then I will come back and show you what I come up with. Okay, I have all of the bases finished, so now I am going to start working on decorating them. I have my brown and my black StazOn ink. I've got some pretty random stamps here that I'm going to use. And I have got a mismatched bunch of just stuff. There's stickers, there's butterflies, there's birds, there's labels, there's just all kinds of things here. So I'm going to start decorating. I probably won't decorate all of them, but I will at least decorate a few so that you get an idea. Oops, okay. So I'm going to start with doing some stamping. So I think that's good for stamping. Now let's decorate a few of these. I do have those leaves that I showed you that I had made. I kind of like those. So I think I'm going to try to use a few of those. Ooh, this one automatically just looks really good on that. That's a very long strip though, so I would either need a couple of them or I would need something else to. So too late I realized that I had my camera had quit recording, so I will show you what I have here. This is just where I left off, and I had just finished all the stamping. I did decorate 3 of these and I had cut them out, so let me show you those. I have this one, and this one, now that I really look at it, let me get it. The bird almost just kind of blends in. I do like the twig here though. And then that's got those Tim Holtz leaves. So, or a leaf. I do like this one. And then I decorated this one. This has 2 of the Tim Holtz leaves, the lighter colors. And I put a couple of butterflies, and then this leaf, which I did ink afterwards. And this one I just tore away from the backing paper. So I think that one's pretty. And then this is the last one. This one I cut from the backing paper. I decided to use 3 buttons on there. For some reason, just this pattern right here made me think of buttons. But I have that one too. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out the junk journal that I've just started, and I'm going to pick a couple of pages and kind of see what I can do with these. So I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back, and this is the beginnings of a junk journal that I've been kind of working on, and I found a couple of places to put our long clusters at. This one I thought would be pretty here as a belly band, so I think that's where it's gonna go. We're gonna use, I think, let's see, I guess, sorry about the arm there. I'm gonna use my tacky glue for that. And eventually I will be doing embellishments and decorations of this journal in a video also. but I wanted to get a few videos under my belt before I attempted something like that. So there's that one as a belly band. And then I thought here, this one, I wanted to put on this page, so I just very quickly made a pocket. And I used Amazon packaging, and I had some light green, like lightweight green packaging paper, like what they stuff in the boxes and they send to you. I did a quick tea stain on it and a quick, these are alcohol ink splotches. So we're gonna cut this, not perfectly, but that's okay. It is, after all, a junk journal. There we go. And the Amazon packaging has got this, here I'll show you with this piece. It has got on the inside of it this stuff. And I don't like to leave that hanging out like here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take my, I guess I'll take my tweezers. No, I'm not going to use my tweezers. I will take my bone folder, and I'm going to go in there and kind of scrape that out so that it's not sticking out of there. I like the puffiness of the pockets. I don't like that stuff sticking out there. Okay, that'll work. So then I thought this pocket will go here on this page. Let me stick that on there. Your glue is never at the top of the bottle when you want it to come out. Mine isn't. I don't know how yours is. You might have glue that behaves itself. Mine is rebellious. Leave these sewing threads sticking out there. Okay. It's a little bit exciting to be finally decorating in this journal. I haven't even got the cover made for it yet. I usually try to create all of the insides, and then I will make the journal cover, just because there's too many times that I've made one that didn't fit because everything was too thick. So what I was thinking was putting this here and making that a little tuck spot. So we're gonna make our glue come out again. Oh my goodness. Okay. Just a little bit of it here. Doesn't need a lot. It's not going to hold anything real heavy. Oh, there went the glue. And we're going to put that on here like this. Can you see it? So that's making those tucks, that tuck spot there. And then the next one that I had done, here it is. And I decided that I would make it into a tuck spot as well. But I'm going to put it towards the inside of here. So if I grab my glue, it hit the deck. So I'm just going to glue this. And again, I mean, it's not gonna hold any kind of farm equipment or anything, so it doesn't have to be real heavy duty glued in there. And there we go. Yay. All right, so that is going to do it for today's scrap busting Pinterest inspired. I know this was a long one, and I appreciate you guys hanging in with me, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.